Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sony's first Thanksgiving shopping special. Of course, this is the time of year where there are tons of deals, and of course, Sony has not forgotten to give you a lot of those deals as well. And we're going to go over a lot of stuff, but first, and most importantly, happy Thanksgiving from all of us at Sony. Hopefully, you guys have a lot of chance to spend some time with some family, and also get a chance to save some money by buying some of those that you love, some amazing gifts from Sony. And of course, don't forget to treat yourself as well. My name is Derek, I am from Sony, and with me is...
Karina, howdy.
Yes, thank you for joining me, Karina, I appreciate it. And there's a lot that we're gonna talk about, and there's a lot of different categories we're gonna be talking about. So we're gonna be talking about wireless speakers, headphones, gaming headsets, cameras, lenses, soundbars, and TVs.
You got it.
Somewhere in that order, give or take roughly. I don't know. We're going to see how this goes. A lot of really cool things, and unfortunately, we're not going to touch on everything, so make sure you check the link below to take a look at everything that has some really cool savings and find the right product that fits you. So, without further ado, so we can get to it and you can start buying and we can start selling, I guess, almost. There's some really cool stuff. So, wireless speakers. We got to start here because this, I think, is one of those pieces, I want to say, that gets used so much and bang for the buck. I absolutely love this speaker. This is the XB13. So for 40 bucks, this thing packs a heck of a punch for a nice, small, compact space. And I use this thing almost every day because it's perfect to go in the shower. It's IP67, which means it's dustproof and waterproof. But I will tell you what, if you haven't tried using or listening to music in the shower, like, it is one of the best ways to start your day.
It's a game changer.
It absolutely is. And you know, maybe you're not a music person, cool. Podcasts, you know, whatever you happen to listen to, just throw it in the shower and you can listen to it. It sounds great. And on top of that, if you do want to do a little bit more with music, because it does have a nice full range driver in it, you can buy a second one if you really love that other person to stereo pair. So you can have a left and a right channel, and it does a really good job of filling up a large space with audio that sounds really good. So it's kind of a great convenience item that would be a perfect gift for pretty much anybody, really, in my opinion. Thoughts?
No, I completely agree. It's $39, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great price. I think I need a little bit more sound. So I like the XE300. That's a great option. It's also IP67, but it's also drop resistant. You know me, I drop things all the time. I'm super clumsy, so perfect for that situation. Yes. And with up to 24 hours of battery life, we can listen to music all day. But one of the things I like about this speaker is the line-shaped diffuser. So it actually widens the soundstage so everybody in the room can enjoy the music. Yeah,
it's a really unique way to kind of fill a room with audio, right?
Totally.
By just having it spread out, especially for such a small, compact size. And it sounds very, very solid all the way around. Again, for any type of anything that you want to listen to on it. One thing I like about it as well, and I think it's a feature that is missed by a lot of people, but this is a speaker that you're typically going to be bringing with you, you know, to the beach or camping, whatever. There's a lot of things you can do with them, of course. But with this model, you can actually charge your phone as well, which I think is a really cool option. So you have up to 24 hours of use with it already, but now, obviously, we can't really function without our phones most of the time.
Yeah, no, totally.
I don't know how I feel about that, but being able to, you know, listen to this music, but also be like, oh no, I'm running out because I got to be connected to everybody, then you can always charge it off of the speaker as well.
Which, let's be real, if you're camping or if you're at the beach, there's no plugs. You can't charge your phone, so it's great to have something on hand to give you that extra juice in your phone. But what I really like, that same feature is on the XG300, which is this guy right over here. I love the portability of it because it has a handle. So for camping or for the beach, this is perfect to carry around and take with you on the go. And it offers you a lot of sound.
Yeah, the drivers are different on this one, so you have them on the side. So they actually do a really good job of giving, I think, a little bit of a deeper bass. So if you want more bass, this would probably be a great option to consider as well, because it does sound great, again, for everything. But also, you can actually pair this up with the XE300 and the XE200.
Do both.
And yes, and multiples. And
up to 100, right?
yes.
Which is insane.
I don't even know if I know 100 people, let alone like having access to 100 of these. I would love to hear what that sounds like in any combination. I think that would be so cool to see. But you know, I don't know, someday maybe if I'm lucky. But obviously one of the biggest things we have to highlight on this piece is the price. So it's $150 off.
Such
bring
a
it down, bring it down to $199. So if you are looking for something that is going to be very versatile, take it on the go in any type of situation because it is so resistant to its IP67 again, so dustproof and waterproof. Great outdoor speaker, and it'll give you some volume for sure, and it sounds awesome. But wait, there's always more, right? That's always the case because there's always something else, and we're going to take it up a couple of notches here, and we got to talk. I know he's only slightly on camera because it is huge. This is the XP700. Now this is a beast. This has our X-balanced speakers. I can speak about speakers X-balanced style. I don't know if that makes any sense, but this thing sounds absolutely incredible, and this is going to be your mega bass. I'm going to rock the house / beach / campsite / possibly annoy the neighbors. This thing sounds awesome, and it's one of those things you really have to check out. But if you want something that's really going to fill the space with awesome sound and really deep bass, the XP700 at $150 off is definitely going to be something to consider. And I know you one of the things that you always like to bring up every time I mention it is some extra input options.
Absolutely. So this speaker is great for house parties, and especially if you have a family like mine where they love to get loud and they love to enjoy the music. It has 2 1/4-inch inputs, so you can plug in 2 mics and karaoke, or you can do a mic and a guitar and just connect it and jam out, and it's awesome. It's a way to include everybody in the music, and plus it sounds amazing.
You mean getting together, right? That's a very
totally
holiday thing, right? So this could be something for future holidays to get everybody together and just kind of act silly and just have a good time, especially amongst family and friends. That's some of the best way to do is just go crazy and let loose a little bit. I do want to mention too, because it is big, one of the other things you can do with it, you can actually lay it down on the side as well. So it will sense if it's horizontal or vertical, and it'll actually give you a good sound profile based on that as well. So great options in this whole category. There's small stuff from the XP13 all the way up to the XP700. There's a lot of different options to find the best sound for whoever it is you want to get some awesome audio for. So, of course, while we're talking about audio, we have to talk about personal audio. This is everybody audio. I'm
right.
sharing the experience with everybody, but sometimes you have to go to something that kind of allows you to be isolated.
Not everybody wants to hear your music,
I get that a lot, actually, which makes me a little sad, but that's okay, because it's their loss, but that's all right. But you're absolutely right, and I know when it comes to personal audio, we're talking headphones, right? And I know you have a favorite that you like to talk about as well there too.
Totally. I love the LinkBuds S, and one of the reasons I like it so much is it allows you to always stay connected to the real world and your digital world. So you have the option for ambient sound mode, which lets in ambient sound, so you're able to hear your surroundings and communicate with people, interact with people. But whenever you want to shut that out and have noise cancellation, you could just tap your headphones, turn on noise cancellation, and be in tune with your digital world.
Yeah, I use my LinkBuds S a lot, and especially as I've been, and I know if people have seen us on here before, I talk about this often, but the LinkBuds S have been so amazing for traveling.
Oh yeah.
Because I can wear them in the airport, but I don't always want to sometimes I don't want to hear what's going on, but at the same time, I probably should, just to be considerate of other people, making sure I'm not in the way, but also hearing any announcements, gate changes, delays, which always happens. So having that option to have them in, listen to what I'm listening to, but having that access to the real world without being totally shut off is really convenient, and it gives me that ability to be connected. But then once I'm on the plane, and obviously in this circumstance, I can just, like you said, just tap it, switch over to noise canceling, and now I don't have to worry about like, airplane engine noise and stuff. And honestly, if you know somebody who travels or just likes that peace and quiet sometimes, just to isolate, something that does noise canceling while you're traveling will literally change your life. It is, I don't want to ever travel without them, honestly.
I agree.
But that's what's great, is that they are, it's such a small case that makes it really simple to just throw in your pocket and keep with you.
Yes, I have tiny pockets all the time and all my jeans, so I love that I could just fit it in there without an issue. But if you need the opposite and you need to be able to hear your surroundings at all times, then the LinkBuds is a great option. And I know, Derek, you have some scenarios in which you use the LinkBuds?
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking since the original LinkBuds, so this is different than the LinkBuds S. I've been using them for a long time because they have such a unique case that is just, you can't find anywhere else. They are designed to keep you connected to the real world. They literally have an open ring design, so you are going to be connected to the rest of the world, which is awesome in a lot of cases. Some people don't want that, and that's where you have LinkBuds S. Perfect option for that. But in my case, I actually fall asleep with my LinkBuds on pretty much every night because I like to listen to my own stuff, but I have a 3-year-old daughter that sometimes needs things in the middle of the night. So knowing that I'll be able to still hear her if she needs anything allows me to still be in my world, but also not be disconnected. And that has been, it's literally has been priceless for me in how I use them. But yeah, everybody's going to have a different use case. And the crazy thing is right now, obviously sale prices. So both the LinkBuds and the LinkBuds S are $129.99 right now. So it's really more of what's going to best suit your needs. In some cases, you always want to be connected. LinkBuds are a great option, but that means that the LinkBuds S almost are sort of like a better deal to a degree because you have the option of switching over to noise canceling, which, again, if you haven't traveled with noise canceling headphones, that is going to change things for you forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am a huge, huge, huge fan of those. But now, they are a great option for most people. Some people like a more premium, or I guess audiophiles want something that's going to give them even better clarity. Because don't get me wrong, LinkBuds S sound absolutely awesome, and I don't really have to be concerned about it. But some people are more particular, want more detail, and even possibly even better noise canceling. And we do have an option for that. That is also on sale. Shocker.
And that's the WF-1000 Mark IV. So these guys right here, which I love as well. There's industry-leading noise cancellation in these, up to 24 hours of battery life, and they just sound amazing. They sound so good. So for someone that wants the best of the best, this is a great option. And it's also such a good deal right now at $179. I don't think I've ever seen these go so low in price.
Yeah, $100 off. As that is Black Friday pricing right there. And again, for somebody who wants something that's going to sound amazing, they do sound, I think to your point as far as like how they have that different sort of sound, it's the processing is different. It's designed to be that audiophile answer, but also the foam tips. I do really like that.
They're super comfy.
Because they fit well, they kind of seal nicer, so they have a little bit more of a bassier feel
to them as well. So check those out as well. Extra little gifts that you can get for somebody that you really do love quite a bit. And they do sound absolutely awesome for sure. So, but of course, there's more. We have to go with more. So I want to kind of go into, I want to stay actually in this
premium audio world, because the WF-1000X Mark IVs that we were just talking about sound awesome, and they are going to be that audiophile answer, but not everybody likes earbuds. I'm not always a fan, but the LinkBuds S just fit perfectly, as did LinkBuds, so they work great for me. But in a lot of cases, you might just want more traditional headphones. So when you're talking about premium quality and audio headphones, we have a couple of options for that. The WH-1000X Mark IVs and the WH-1000X Mark Vs. So both of these sound amazing. And I know that you were just playing with the Mark Vs
Earlier,
Just earlier.
yes. They're so comfortable. They're so lightweight. I could wear these all day, and I can because they have up to 30 hours of battery life.
Yeah.
But they also just sound amazing. And for someone that listens to music and has to pick up phone calls for work, for family, I love that there are 8 microphones on this headset, as well as 4 beamforming microphones. So it picks up my voice really clearly. So I'm able to take phone calls in louder situations, like if I'm at a cafe or I'm at the airport, and the person on the other line can hear me perfectly.
Yeah, the world has changed so much, and we all sort of have to be digitally connected, especially when it comes to work. And I've seen, not that I'm like this well-traveled person or anything like that, but I've spent my fair share in a couple of flights and seeing a lot of these business people that are in this position of, they want to isolate, they need to focus, listen to what they're listening to, but also have important clients or, business partners or something that they need to get in contact with. This is a really simple way to kind of keep that conversation more personal or private, right? But still and it's easy to switch back and forth between whatever you're listening to, music or whatever, and having those phone calls. And to your point of it sounding awesome, that is one of the advantages over the 1000X Mark IVs is that introduction of those additional microphones for better noise canceling, as well as giving you that better vocal quality for your phone calls. So a lot of flexibility with these. And I know you mentioned the comfort. They're really lightweight, because one of the questions I got a lot when I was showing these to people is they're like, that's it?
That's it.
Yes, that is it, for a reason, because you don't really want to have weights on your head for a long period of time, and these just have that, I think, that nearly perfect balance of the build quality and just the lightweight feel, so you can listen to them long term. Not that you can't with the 1000X Mark IVs, which currently that is what I am rocking right now, because I don't have the 5s as of yet.
And those are still awesome headphones. They still sound really good.
They really are, and they fit me perfectly, but I do know that I will get better sound and noise canceling, as well as just that extra comfort out of the Mark Vs. But again, personal preference and obviously pricing comes into play, and there are deals, right? So the 1000X Mark Vs currently are $50 off right now at $350, and then the 1000X Mark IVs are actually a pretty crazy deal, all the way down to $229.
Again, I've never seen those that low before.
It's one of those things that just is like, yeah, this is the time. This is the time I must have these now, because they do sound amazing. They're pretty much my go-to even at home when I know I don't have to be worried about connecting to anything, and just focus and just the full range. They just sound absolutely incredible.
I agree.
Absolutely love them.
And if that's a little bit too much, and you don't quite want to spend that much on headphones, maybe it's just kind of something that you're not going to use too often, or maybe something that you want to gift to somebody, I might recommend the XB910s. I think those are awesome. Right now we have them going for $124.
It's 50% off.
Yes. And for all you bass heads, you get extra bass on there.
Yes, yeah, and to clarify on that too, like they're designed to be that bass heavy thing, which there's a lot of people that do. I love bass, don't get me wrong,
me too.
But I can be a little bit more picky, and sometimes I do like to have that extra detail in the high end. They do sound awesome, but that's one of those differences that if you want that more audiophile experience versus like, I'm just gonna rock some killer headphones that are gonna rock my head, I guess, with bass, that's where the 910s fit really well. And they're very similar to the WH-1000X Mark IVs in their style and a lot of the functionality that you get, which we could go a lot longer on the details and functionality of some of these things, which are incredible. So make sure, again, you check the description, or the links below, I should say, to see all of the different options between the two, because there's a lot more, and we'd be here forever if we went into everything, unfortunately, which I would love to be, but unfortunately, I know you guys want to get to the shopping, so let's keep that going. But we have one more little goodie that we got to add in there, the CH510s, right?
Yep.
Super simple, very easy to just kind of add in as an extra little gift at $39.99 right now as well. So a great option for somebody who just needs headphones. They're going to sound awesome, easily connected. or kids too. You know, something very simple, just over the ear, small little headphones. So we have a full range of headphones as well. So again, check the links to see all the details to find the ones that will work perfect for you or your loved ones. That's a lot of audio right there.
So much audio, but audio is still a really important factor of gaming. So for people that game for hours on end, they wear headsets, they need to hear their surroundings in the game. That's where InZone comes in.
Yes, InZone headsets. These are awesome.
I love them.
This is a newer part of what Sony is doing now in the InZone name. We have headsets, which there's a couple different options that, again, will be in the description or in the links. I'm sorry, about the H3, H7, and H9. I do want to just make a quick note, though, that we do also have the M9 monitor. But I know it's going to be a hot item, so make sure you check that one out as well, and hopefully inventory will be available for you because it is going to be popular, to say
that thing is amazing, by the way.
Yes, it is an amazing monitor. But for those of you who need to just enhance maybe an existing setup, in terms of your gaming, one thing that makes these very unique is the 360 spatial sound. So one of the best things you can have when it comes to gaming, best advantages you have, is knowing where everything is happening. It's an advantage that I need, as I'm not as good as I used to be. But being able to know what's going on around you and where it is, that makes such a big difference. And I know that you've used them a little bit, right?
Yes.
More than I have, but.
Yes, so I actually own the H9s and I love them. They're so comfortable and they're kind of reminiscent of the wear of the WH Mark V. So they're very comfortable. I can wear these for hours on end. But one of my favorite features about this is going to be, one, the noise cancellation. I have noise cancellation to be able to shut everything out and just focus on my game. But in situations where I need to be able to hear my surroundings, there's also ambient sound mode. So if I have, you know, family trying to speak to me or just any situation where I need to be able to pay attention, there's that too. So just a click of a button just to be able to swap between the two modes is amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's also boom mic, because sometimes we need to interact with other people or sometimes we need to take a moment to mute ourselves. So just to be able to move up the mic and mute it is awesome.
Yeah, it's a very functional headset, which sounds weird, but realistically, it's one of those things that it makes such a difference. I've actually had a discussion with somebody who uses them, and he's like, I don't get in as much trouble now for gaming late at night because he can be focused on it and hear everything that's going on. But with the ambient mode, when he is like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. We're good.
Yeah.
You can still be aware of what's going on, and it's a nice touch to something. But of course, you don't have to use that because in the H9, they're actually noise canceling as well. So, and again, to your point, a very similar sort of style, especially in the ear cups and the feel, to the 1000X Mark V headphones. So they did not hold back in giving you this premium audio experience for the gaming world,
Absolutely.
right? And that they do look nearly identical, probably from the camera angle. I'm sure they look identical, but there's a difference, the H9 and the H7. The difference, the H9 is going to give you that noise canceling as well as wireless capability. The H7 is going to be wireless, but it won't have the noise canceling option. And then the H3 is going to be a wired option. So you have options in price ranges to give you the features that you want. All three are going to be great gift ideas based on the little gamer or the older gamer. I'm an older gamer. Don't forget about us, right? To give them an extra little gift to kind of allow them to enjoy more of their gaming and give them that advantage of the 360 spatial sound and just, keep them quiet. I guess you could say. You can't stop them from yelling when they get a little upset, but that's a whole different thing. And again, sales on everything, currently $20 off on the H9 and the H3 and $80 off on the H7. So you can find the right one that's going to work best for you or those that you love. So again, all of that will be in the links below. So check those out. If you want to learn a little bit more about it, check them out. But of course, we have to go further. And we have to talk about What else can be involved in this? I'm living at my monitor and have my headset and I'm gaming online.
Well, streaming is huge. So
Yes.
there's a lot of game streams that I watch, and the camera, the image quality, that's an important factor in streaming.
Yeah, this has become such a big thing for people. Some people have literally made careers, which, I mean, awesome for them. If anything, I'm just jealous. But streaming while you're gaming is such a cool concept. And of course, what is going to differentiate you? Not only is it going to be your talent and obviously your personality, but you want to look good doing it. And we have to talk about a couple of the cameras that we have that are on sale that will give you a very simple way to live stream with just one cable, just with USB connection. Now, before some of you tune out and be like, well, I'm not a gamer, so it's not a big deal. Wait a moment, because I will tell you what, using this for conference calls, that can make the difference. I will say this, that when you're looking at this wall of people that you work with, you know the people are like, man, their lighting, I don't know, or their background, and you're kind of silently judging the way that it looks, but you can make it super simple, and you can get something like the ZV-1 camera, plug in a USB cable, and you get this high quality look that just makes you stand out. So especially if we're doing like a nice presentation, that's gonna give you a whole different sort of perception of your status, I guess, if that makes sense.
It totally impresses your coworkers as well, just to be, the
that person that has that high quality.
Stands out. That's always nice. But what's even cooler and what really impresses people is a beautiful background blur. So there is a background defocus just on top of the camera that gives you that nice, natural looking blur, and that changes everything.
Yeah, I know a lot of people use that filter. It's not like a background changer. I don't know what the term is actually off the top of my head, where it kind of blurs that background. And you can tell when they move, there's this like lag of what's actually behind them, and it just looks weird. But having this optical, true, natural smoothness and blurriness of the background just looks professional, I guess, is the way to do it. So whether you're streaming for gaming purposes and you want the focus on you and just to have this really cool, unique look, or doing a presentation online, it just really makes you stand out. Now, this sort of blankets a lot of the cameras that we're going to talk about in terms of being able to live stream, but specifically we're talking about the ZV-1 here and what else it can do. We're talking vlogging. Vlogging also is kind of this other hugely popular way of kind of getting big online as opposed to just gaming, right? Talking about your life, your crafts, your family, travel. There's a million things that you can do, and the ZV-1 is an awesome option
to very simply vlog with high quality and 4K resolution, right? Giving you that background defocus that we talked about and more, which we'll talk about in a moment. It is $649. It's $100 off. It's a heck of a deal for any of those people that want to get into a vlogging or live streaming type of a thing. Now, one of the other things I have, especially when we're talking about like
maybe you're showing art, or it could be technology, an unboxing video, something like that. The product showcase feature, I think so many people can relate to, because if you watched any sort of video and they hold up this product that's really small, right, and they're trying to move it around, and then they're putting their hand behind it so you can get the focus on it, that's not really an issue at all with the ZV-1, because the product showcase mode will identify something's in the middle. It's going to switch that focus to it super fast, and you move it away, it'll switch that focus right back to you as a presenter, making sure that there's really no moments of, let me get the camera to focus. You can just go, and keep going through your presentation, show these people these amazing things that you're doing, and then obviously go bring that focus right back to yourself, which is awesome. And of course...
And one of the things that I love about the ZV-1 is the very angle screen. So I'm actually able to flip that out and see myself and see what I'm recording. So I'm not just doing guesswork and trying to think of like, am I on the camera? How do I look? So you're actually able to flip that around and show yourself, right? But one thing I do want to talk about is the ZV-1F. So.
The new kid on the block.
New kid on the block. And one of the reasons I love that, it has that same flip out screen, but it's super lightweight, super small. It's great for traveling. It's great for on the go. And it also has a fixed 20mm lens. So I don't have to worry about holding my arm out so far to be able to get myself in the view. I'm able to hold it natural and close. And on top of that, it has the same product showcase feature. It has the same background to focus mode. So it has all those features that are packed in the ZV-1 in a ZV-1F. So it's a great way to ditch the cell phone and start vlogging.
Yeah, and this is more, we just want to kind of touch on this one because it is new, and a lot of people may not know that it's out there. So it's at $499 right now. And just to kind of give you a very quick summation of some of the differences between the two, is the ZV-1F is really going to be that kind of that first step. That's going to work great. It is a fixed lens, so you don't have the flexibility of zooming, but typically people that are vlogging don't use that. A lot of people are using their cell phones, and they're looking at the screen, and they're just holding it here and just recording. That's what the ZV-1F will do, but do it better because you actually have a higher quality lens. Most likely you're going to be a better sensor. Obviously, a lot of different options out there for phones, but it's going to look more natural, more real. You have the product showcase mode, you have the background defocus. It's a great way to kind of get started into this vlogging, or switch over from using your phone, draining your battery, and using an actual real camera. The ZV-1 will actually give you a little bit of flexibility in zooming, so you do have that advantage. But they're going to be very similar, but in most purposes of how you would use it. So both of them, absolutely fantastic options for kind of that starting the streaming, the vlogging, but really, I mean, general purpose type of cameras, they work well for that as well. But really that's what they're geared towards. But if you do want something that's going to be more geared towards taking photographs, wow, photographs or photography or even videography, obviously we have many other options for you as well. And we have to talk about, what do you got there?
A7 III.
Yes, the Alpha 7 III is a beast of a camera. A jack of all trades is kind of one of the things that I like to refer to it as, because it does everything so well. And I remember when this camera came out, there was professionals that were like, well, wait, it does that as good as this premium camera? That as good as that premium camera? And it's that price? You gotta be kidding me. Like, yes.
I've seen wedding photographers with this camera right here because it does video so well, it does photos so well, it's a full frame sensor on it, 10 frame per second burst shot. So this thing packs a lot of punch.
Yeah. If you're looking to get into that full frame world, which is, some people say it's the professional realm of photography or videography. It can be, sure. I mean, yes, professionals are going to vie for the full frame sensor because it is going to give you better detail, most depending on what you're comparing. But generally speaking, full frame cameras are going to give you more detail and also better color, better sharpness. Of course, lenses and everything else factors in, but this is an amazing start to even starting a photography business. If it's weddings, maybe you're just shooting. I know a big thing is like taking pictures of cars. I hear that a lot from a lot of people that I work with, where they get these hire people to take pictures of their vehicles so they can post online and make them look amazing. So there's a lot of things you can do with it, but this is a great place to start. It's $300 off with the body right now. And you can add a plethora of different lenses to find the right way that's going to suit what you're trying to shoot and take these amazing shots. But again, to your point with video as well, it does everything extremely well. But I wish we had one to show right here. We're going to have it pop up on the screen. The Alpha 7C, which is sort of I don't want to say the little brother, little sister. It's just physically a smaller version of the Alpha 7 III, giving you a lot of the same capabilities, but it's in the size of an APS-C camera. So that's a smaller size camera body. So it makes it a little bit more portable, and it does have the flip out vari-angle screen. So it's a great option for vlogging as well. Being a full frame sensor, we did talk about the great vlogging capabilities of the ZV-1 and the ZV-1F, but the full frame sensor can make a big difference and give you just that much more detail in terms of picture quality to really stand out from the rest of the competition.
Absolutely. It's great for somebody on the go. It's great for travel vlogging. Something I do want to point out is the A7 Mark II. So you are.
Oh yeah, it's a deal right now.
It's a deal right now. It's going for $899. It's $500 off, and it's a full frame body. So great for entry-level photography, someone who wants a full frame at a good price. I might recommend checking out the A7 Mark II.
Yeah, it's definitely geared towards, you know, the photography side of things, but it does everything really well too. But for the price, like if you want to get more of that detail, start doing some professional portraits or landscape photography or something like that, like, yeah, absolutely, bang for the buck. Like, that is a great place to start as well. If you want to go, we're going to go to the other side of the spectrum, that right? So jack of all trades, options, bang for the buck. We got to talk about the R series, the Alpha 7R Mark III and the Alpha 7R Mark IV. I have an Alpha 7R Mark III, and one of the things I love about it is we go from a 24 megapixel sensor up to a 42 megapixel sensor on the Alpha 7R series R3, I should say. And it gives you a lot of flexibility to crop more, because I am not good, and I don't know why. I still have not been able to figure out correct framing. Like, I have a vision, and then my camera and me don't connect, and I can't get exactly what I'm looking for. That's me problem. It's not a camera problem. But the great thing about having the R series and the more megapixels, which gives me more data to work with, if my framing is off, I can crop. And I crop a lot of stuff out of my photos because I don't know. I just can't function that way. I don't know. I'm learning. I'm working on it. But I love that is the flexibility and the difference of when you go from the Alpha 7 series to the Alpha 7R series, that's resolution. So having more data in your pictures, especially being able to crop or zoom in on portions of your photos, can really make a big difference. And if you want to go even further with that, the Alpha 7R Mark IV jumps you up to a 61 megapixel sensor. So that's even more data. And I have played around with it. I don't have one. I've played around with it, and I have seen like the difference of how much you can zoom in and how much it holds that detail. Like, you could take this wide shot and then take just this tiny portion of it and blow that up into this amazing picture, a part that you didn't notice or you were unintentionally taking a picture of, and turn that into like the focal point of the photo. I think that's absolutely amazing. There are a lot of other differences between these cameras, but again, we would probably be here all day, and you guys, again, have a lot to do, so we don't want to keep you on that. But again, check the links below to find a little bit more out about these amazing cameras. Again, it comes down to that flexibility and those options. But one of the things I like best about the Alpha 7 III, the Alpha 7C, the Alpha 7R, the Alpha 7 Mark II is wherever you start, which you got to start somewhere, right? You start with the Alpha 7 Mark II and you realize this is awesome. I love this. I got all these awesome lenses, but now I want to change the body. No problem, because they're all compatible. The E-mount lenses will work across all of these cameras. So if you start somewhere and you get some amazing lenses, which we'll talk about in a moment, hint, hint, you can keep those lenses and move them onto the next body, and you still get that benefit. So a lot of really cool stuff there. So there are a lot of lenses also on sale, which unfortunately we can't get into all the details on, but I just want to touch on a couple of them very quickly. So right now, one of the ones that I personally would love to have is the 35 f1.4. So this lens is like a great focal length for shooting something like this. You know, when I do some of these videos for Sony, I would love to have that nice length. I use a different one that's a little further away, but it still looks great. But that f1.4. So if you're not a camera person, that is going to be your aperture, which again, if you're not a camera person, that's going to be that level of softness and how deep that is. So things that'll be blurred in the foreground versus the background, how much it isolates the subject from everything else. And the 35 f1.4 is an awesome option even for those vloggers too, because it's a decent distance. It's not real far, so it could still be on a desk, but such a nice blurred background that maybe there's art or something that you can't show because of copyright or whatever. It's a great way to have that kind of blurred, but you don't have to keep changing everything in the background. Makes lights look really cool too when they're blurred out. So I know that you haven't had a chance to use a lot of different lenses yet, though, right?
No.
Is there one that you are interested in? There's a couple of different options that we have that are on sale, of course, because there's a ton going on right now. But I know this one we were talking earlier about sort of a recommendation of where to start, and the 24 to 70.
Yes, the 24 to 70 G Master, I would love. It's so versatile. You can have a wider shot, but you can also zoom in a little bit more and take portraits. So something like that for me, especially someone who's starting to use cameras, is a perfect option. Yeah,
the flexibility of a 24 to 70 is going to make a big difference, right? But what really separates this from some that you typically see in a lot of these kit lenses have a very similar focal range, G Master. Yep. Makes a big difference, right? This is the build quality of the lens is going to make sure that your pictures maintain their sharpness and maintain their contrast accurately when you actually take that picture, because that's the first thing that comes into the camera. So whatever the camera's going to take a picture of is going to go through that lens. So the G Master lenses from Sony are, in my opinion, some of the best lenses that you can get. The difference is just going to be whether you want a 35mm one, a 24 to 70, or if you want to go to the telephoto range and go to a 100 to 400, which is going to give you a super crazy...
That is a super crazy zoom.
Yes.
That's great for wildlife photography, or for those of you who have kids in sports, that is great. I know a lot of coaches are hesitant to let parents near the field, near the court, so that is a great option for people with friends and family in sports. Yeah, that telephoto range I would love. I haven't had a chance to try it out. I've tried 70 to 200 and a couple of variants of that, but that would be a really cool option to try, especially for some of that wildlife shooting. Now, one of the things that I do want to touch on really quickly when it comes to cameras, and especially when there are deals, because I know I've spoken to a lot of people who use their phone to take pictures. That's great. But when you're taking pictures, there are limitations, even our phones, as advanced as they've become, that cameras can do that phones cannot, especially low light shooting or fast action, better zoom, accurate zoom, optical smoothness of the background. These are memories that you want to capture, and especially as we get into the holidays, when family is together, getting a camera for a family member or for yourself to be able to take pictures as you're all together in those moments are things that you can't go back and recapture. So if you're limited on your phone capability, getting a nice camera is a great way to make sure that you capture the moment it was meant to be captured in. So
I get a little bit passionate about cameras because I do love capturing those moments, and I'm so glad I do have what I have in the pictures that I've gotten. So keep that in mind. But again, lots of stuff here, so check the link below to find out a little bit more about some of your other options as well. So we talked a lot about picture quality. So now we're going to
quickly turn around, but also stay in the same lane, because we're talking about picture quality in a whole different sense. And I know that you love to talk about this part, so I'm going to let you take this to start out.
Absolutely.
I'll chime in if I feel like it.
So when we want picture quality, when I think picture quality, I think TV. That's what I think.
That's what I'm talking about.
And where I want to start off with is the X80K. And the reason why is it's such a good deal. It's a bang for buck TV. And right now we have an 85-inch X80K going for $1,500, which is insane. Like, I could not even think 4 years ago an 85-inch
TV
being that low in price.
That's crazy.
And our 75-inch is going for $999, which is also completely nuts.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to point out about the 85-inch is that it is 120 hertz. So that makes it great for sports, great for action movies. It's an awesome deal.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, especially on the X80, the most of the series is 60 hertz. That's sort of the motion rate. So you have two options when it comes to all TVs. It's either 60 or 120. When you go to 120, it makes motion smoother. Some people are very sensitive to it. Some people, literally, whatever you show them, they'll never see it as a problem, which is great. Totally up to you.
Them.
But generally speaking, if you watch a lot of fast action stuff or sports, you typically would want something that's 120 hertz, because that's going to give you that more natural smoothness and just makes it feel more real, right?
Right.
So that is the difference on the 85-inch X80 But when you jump from the X80K series to the X85K series, the jump is going from 60 to 120 hertz. But what's the difference on those 85-inch TVs then?
That's a question I get a lot.
I know.
So
That's what I said.
The 85-inch X85K is also 120 hertz, but it offers you gaming features. So it has a gaming features like HDMI 2.1, 4K 120 frames per second, auto low latency mode, variable refresh rate, and these are features that gamers need.
Yeah. This has been the big thing since the new gen consoles or high-end PCs, which a lot of people are vying for now to show off a lot of their gaming capabilities and playing online and really just being immersed in this experience. And those HDMI 2.1 features are a big difference. So we do give you those options between the X80 and the X85K. So if you have someone in the house who is a gamer, or if you yourself are a gamer, you definitely want to steer more towards the X85K or above, which we'll get there. Slow down. But if you're just somebody who just watches regular TV, just turns on some sitcoms at night or watches the news or whatever, the X80 looks amazing because you still have that Sony processing, you still have the accurate, beautiful color and triluminous. It's an all-around, like you said, bang for the buck TV, but being able to get a 75-inch for $999 or 85-inch for $1,500 is just crazy. But it goes further, right? And when you go up from there, from the X85K, we go into the X90K, and that's where you start to get, you have a whole different processor. I'll let you take that one from them because there's a lot of me talking about that out there in the world, so I'm going to let you take this one. But also the full array local dimming, which is going to give you that better contrast performance and better backlight control. But yeah, I'm going to let you take this processing because it's hot.
Absolutely. So the X90K features the Cognitive XR processor, which in my opinion is the absolute best processor on the market right now. And that gives you a more lifelike image. So just being able to have a more lifelike image.
Yeah,
more lifelike image.
Well, right, isn't that what we're trying to do with a lot of this stuff? And is make it
like real life, right?
Yeah.
Like we're looking out a window. And when we say processors, that's the brain of the TV. So the better processor, the better the brain, the better picture quality, everything. So the XR processor is on the X90 as well as our X95K. Our X95K.
Oh, go ahead. You're on a roll. Let's keep rocking. Yeah.
Is a beast of a TV, and that features our mini LED technology. So think a lot of tiny lights that make the TV super bright. So this is great for people like myself that have a living room with like 3 walls of windows, a lot of light coming in. I don't want glare. I need a bright TV. We need to watch Sunday football during the day and not have any type of glare, any type of issues. That is the TV to go with.
Yeah, and so that you mentioned, I should have brought this up earlier because obviously I know a lot of people. I've been working with selling TVs for many, many years around this time, and I always have those people that are looking to prepare for the rest of the football season, right? And that's where typically you want that bigger TV that's going to make the neighbors jealous so everybody comes to your house, which is great, So we do have a lot of those bigger size options, but one thing you mentioned, especially with the X95K and the X wide angle. So not only is it this tremendously bright TV that looks amazing and has really good contrast due to mini LED, but you also have this very wide viewing angle. So if you have a bunch of people over, it doesn't matter if somebody's sitting off to the side, they're still going to get a really, really amazing picture and still maintain that contrast in the color that you'd expect if you were sitting front and center, which can be limited space without it being awkward at times.
Absolutely. So for those of you guys with big friend circles, big families, this is a great option for everybody to be able to enjoy movie night or football games together.
Yep, absolutely. And speaking of viewing angles, a TV that I have spoken about many times because I do love it because it suits me. Like I know a lot of people who have talked. I know which that you love in this X95K. Beautiful TV. It doesn't have all of what I want, which is that I like a really dark TV because I live in a basement, darkness, watching my movies as much as I can, which looks so good. So the A80K is an OLED which has self-illuminating pixels, which means each pixel can turn on or off, meaning when they're off, it's like pitch black, like it's not there. So that in a really dark room, it's sort of like that is the focus, is whatever is bright on the screen, and it just has this different feel, and it works perfectly in my situation. But it also, I think I veered off like way far from where I was, sorry, I got excited. But the viewing angle is like incredible on the OLED, the A80K. It is amazing. So it doesn't matter really where you're seated in that room, you will still have an amazing view on the picture. And that contrast looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. And those, of course, we probably talked a lot about these because we get excited about talking about these TVs because they are so incredible. We should probably go back and talk pricing for a second because I think we got a little ahead of ourselves. But yes, the deals are amazing. And again, the links below will have everything. So there are also other sizes for a lot of these models to find the right one that's going to fit your space the best. We did talk a little bit about the X80 and the X85. The X90K, you're talking $999 for the 65-inch and $1499 for the 75-inch. Right? Yes, did I get that right?
Yep. No,
okay.
Yeah, you got
so
it.
there's a lot of pricing to remember. The 65X95K at $1999. And then you go into the A80K, you have the 65-inch at $1699 and the 77-inch at $2699, which is crazy. I don't have a 77-inch, but I'd love to. I would love to have that if I could.
I remember when 65-inch OLEDs were like $4,000. So this is just an awesome deal for an awesome TV.
Yes, yeah. And of course, I don't know why I forgot this. I guess it's always swimming in the back of my mind, I guess. But one of the things I love about the Sony OLEDs is the Acoustic Surface Audio Plus, specifically on the A80K. It is on our other OLEDs as well, but this is a whole different way of experience audio built in on a TV. It's, in my opinion, it's the best audio you can get in a TV. It actually vibrates the screen to create the audio from the screen. So talk about a cinematic experience, right? So when you go to a theater, most of the speakers are actually behind the screen. It's acoustic, transparent screen. So when people are talking on screen, it's coming from them, right? I talk out of my mouth, not my stomach, which is sometimes, really, that's interesting talent. But it's such a cool way to experience it in a much more cinematic way that sounds awesome. It has a nice full range. There's a woofer built into the TV too, so you get the deep bass, but also the clarity. You get dialogue clarity. It just sounds awesome. It sounds so amazing. And I know that some cases you do not want or cannot get an audio solution like a component system, soundbar, or something like that. This is a great option to get not only a better picture in your TV, but also getting the audio kind of together as one nice package. And one of the best things you could do about best ways of looking at getting a TV, because it can be an investment, but this is the time to buy a lot of these because the pricing is awesome, number one. Number two, this is a gift that's for the family. So those dads that are out there like, I want a new TV. I can get one for everybody and I can enjoy it as well. Or, anybody can look at it at any angle, but this is a great way to kind of get a gift for the whole family. And even when you have friends and family over, it's something that everybody can enjoy, because honestly, it kind of hurts me a little bit when I know somebody takes a step back on their TV versus what they really want, knowing that for the next X amount of years of all the content that they're watching, like, could have been better.
You're absolutely right. It's a gift for everybody that we're watching every day. So why settle? So,
exactly.
And the thing is, picture quality is only half the formula. We have audio as a second half, and that's a hugely important factor when it comes to your movie theater experience or your family movie night experience. And then that's where our soundbars come into play.
Yeah, audio for really the cinematic experience is critical. And I think a lot of people overlook it as part of the solution. So you have this amazing picture, but if it's just not it's limited in how immersive it can be until you have the feeling of audio. So, of course, we have deals on our soundbars as well. So I want to start. Well, you know what? Let's start with let's start at the bottom. Let's build up the experience. Experience, thank you, is the term I was thinking of. So starting with the dts-400 is a very, very simple soundbar that honestly packs a lot of punch. It sounds absolutely amazing. Sorry, I'm losing my voice right now. Okay. But as a 2.1 channel soundbar, it actually hits really, really hard.
Especially that subwoofer, it's actually really, really great. For $179 to get a 2-channel soundbar and a subwoofer, it's an awesome deal. Yeah,
it's a great, bang for the buck to bring that back, and it works really well with like the X80 or X85. But honestly, it'll work well with any TV. It doesn't matter what you have; it'll connect really well, and it'll sound absolutely amazing. Nice deep bass, great addition to your TV. So really kind of fill out that experience. But you can always go further, and you can get something like the A3000.
Yeah, the A3000, and I know, Derek, earlier you were talking about having that movie experience where when you go to a movie theater, the screen is that center channel, the vocals come out of the screen. Well, we wanted to recreate that with acoustic center sync. So on the X90K televisions and up, you're actually able to connect the soundbar, any A-series soundbar, to the television and have the TV as your center channel. So versus your TV being all the channels that you're listening to, it's only one channel, it's the vocals, it's the dialogue, and then the soundbar does everything else.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. And we kind of talked about, like with the acoustic surface on the A80K, this sort of brings that sound from screen experience to more TVs. And did you mention which models it's compatible with?
Yeah, the A-series. So the A3000, this guy right here, our A5000 and our A7000.
On the TV side too?
Oh, I'm sorry, X90 and up.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
I did say that.
Okay, you may have. Sure. I apologize if I did miss it. I just want to make sure that everybody knows the details. So it does give you a lot of flexibility of the TV options and then how you build this audio system. Now, speaking of building an audio system, right? So you can build much more of a system out of these as well because you have the flexibility of adding
a subwoofer. Even it does have 2 woofers built into it to give you nice low end, but obviously if you want to really feel it, that's where you add in a bigger subwoofer like the SW3 or the SW5 to really rock the house. And those are also compatible with the A3000, the A5000, or the A7000. If you want to go further, but wait, there's more.
rears.
The rears. You have 2 different options for rear speakers as well. So if you want a true surround sound experience, you can add physical speakers to really kind of flesh out that sound. The RS3s will give you just that simple rear speaker that do need to be plugged in. The RS5s,
wireless.
Oh, tell me more, because I love that.
Wireless up to 10 hours. So the thing about a lot of people's rooms, living rooms, they might not be able to accommodate rear speakers at all times. They don't want to have rear speakers out on their end tables or anything like that. So with the R5s, you're able to have a battery powered speaker that you could just boop, place there, watch 3 or 4 movies, have that battery life last you that entire time. And then whenever you're done with movie night, just put them away and they are never to be seen.
Yeah, and one of my favorite features of this series of soundbar, and I know everybody's room is different. So different furniture, sometimes it's, hardwood floors, carpeting, drapes, whatever. That all changes the sound and the acoustics of the room. But these soundbars will actually kind of identify what are the acoustics of the room to give you the best audio for your space. So no more changing the space to get the audio. It's let the soundbar figure it out on its own. And that worked. I love that with the rear speakers, like you said, with the wireless rears, with the RS5s. You might not put them in the same spot each time.
Yeah.
A 30-second calibration, you press the button on the top to calibrate it, it'll figure out the room and give you this amazing experience. So You have a lot of options, and you don't have to always build it right off the bat. You can build it as you go to kind of find the best thing for your space. But again, check the links below to find out a little bit more about those. I do want to kind of talk a little bit more about what are we getting when we move up from the A3000 to all the way up to the A7000, right? So we added more channels of audio, giving you a much more immersive experience. When you go to the A5000 and the A7000, you actually have upward firing Atmos speakers that will give you more of that sense of height. The A3000 will still give you that in a virtual sense, which works actually really impressively well. It blows people away when we do demos and they're like, but there are no upward firing speakers. It can't be done. Oh, it can be done.
Virtual.
Virtually, yes. That's the power of Sony's processing in the audio space, and it sounds amazing. It gives you that extra immersion, but obviously it's going to perform even better with Sony's upward firing speakers. So great options to build this really kind of a home theater type of experience that is customized for your space and your taste, which is awesome. So yeah, I think that is always a great option. So again, a gift for the whole family that everybody can enjoy. So whether you're watching sports, sitcoms, or really just shutting off the lights and enjoying an intense superhero movie that many of us do, you can't go wrong with adding a soundbar. So make sure you check those out as well. And I think we have finally hit our limit so far. So again, there is a lot of stuff that we haven't fully covered. There's a lot of pricing we didn't get into because we literally would be here forever. But awesome deals going on right now. So make sure you check out the link below to find out all the details and all of the offerings that we have going on through this Thanksgiving holiday special promotional time that we all wait for every year. Check out the things that you're looking for. I think that's about what we got.
I think that's everything.
Awesome.
I'm ready for a nap now.
Oh, man. Yeah, right? Ooh, the Turkey Day nap is always one of the best. So thank you so much for spending time with us. Again, happy Thanksgiving to you and your families from Sony. And check out the amazing deals. Don't miss out. I've been Derek from Sony.
I've been Karina.
Thank you for watching.